Arun, we are really proud of you for the kind of work that you've done. I now invite the director, Professor Dinesh Kumar, to present the award.
I guess Arun probably played cricket with Rahul Dravid.
I did.
That's probably
Arun, let me invite you to say a few words.
Yes, I did play with Rahul Dravid by virtue of being his neighbor and 4 years older than him. I was his captain when I was 10. I taught him how to bat. Then I chose a different...
He owned the bat.
He owned the bat, I showed him how to use it. Then I came to IIM Bangalore. Anyway, thank you so much everybody. Thanks for that introduction. And I've always been troubled with why is India so filthy. And I'm sure all of you know that. And if you go around the world or if you look at pictures of other cities around the world, you find that they're less filthy than us. But we live in denial. And all of you have a theory as to why we are so filthy. But you don't talk about it. It's one of those hidden things. We're in denial. You also all know that that's what's holding us back as a country. And as director said, if the purpose of IIM is to improve society, this is a societal challenge that we all know about. We all have a theory. Each of you has a theory as to why India is so filthy. So did I. And one day I said, let me do something about it. And as a good MBA, I went and looked for literature online. This was 2008. And there was nothing. There were no case studies. There were no success stories of what it takes to keep a city street clean. So then I went and spoke to my friends in the social sector who were handling large funds and deciding. And they said, you know what? The government is to blame, somebody else is to blame. Then I went to the government and they said the public is to blame. Everybody I met said there's somebody else to blame. So I said, maybe that's the problem. No one is owning the problem. And so I said, I will decide that I will own the problem. I am the problem through my inaction. I probably am the problem because of something that leaves my house and I don't know where it goes. So let me try to solve it. I don't have any background in this. So I said, one day, let me pick Bangalore's biggest problem. You all been to Church Street? If you haven't, please go. I know they may not give you time to go, but just go. It was a cool street in 2008, but it was also very filthy. So we said, we'll take the biggest garbage dump in Church Street outside the office of Wipro and figure out how to solve it. And we asked everybody around, like you normally do in your market surveys, what's the problem? Everyone gave a long list of people to complain against. We said, no, we will sit here for 24 hours and like good problem solvers, we'll go ab initio and figure out what the problem is. And we spent 24 hours, me and a few friends, and we understood, we were shocked to find that everybody's diagnosis was wrong. And we had diagnosed the problem right by sheer virtue of going with an open mind. So once you know the diagnosis, you can attempt a solution. Who will do it? We said, we'll do it. We'll put our own time, our own money, and we'll solve a problem in the public space. We don't have the authority for it. We cannot legally do it. We said, what the hell? Entrepreneurship is about that, just plunging in and taking on a problem. And so we spent 3 days and we solved a problem that had not been solved for 20 years in the middle of Bangalore's main street, which affected brand Bengaluru. It got solved. We said, let's do more. We spent a few months and solved many problems, and we realized that we know more than anybody else about how to solve a particular problem because we've decided to plunge in. The government got to hear about us, and then we said, look back and what have we learned in business school? Branding. We have learned how to, customer is king or queen. So we said, we'll build a Facebook page, and somebody called it The Ugly Indian, and it got 4 lakh followers in 2009 before becoming viral was a thing. It reached the Prime Minister's office, and slowly all over India people began copying what we had done on one street in Church Street. It became a global model. It's called scaling in the venture capital world. We did it without doing anything else, just being smart about it. One thing led to another, and in 10 years, TED Talks had happened. Cornell University from the US studied this movement called the Ugly Indian, and they theorized that this movement is successful for one important reason. It does not define itself in opposition to anybody else. It is not anti-government, and it is about solving a problem. And a simple idea that when you say, I see a societal problem, I will own it, I will solve it, I will not blame anybody, became the crux of what an international academic journal said was why it has succeeded. And we were saying, okay, we're just doing something that we like, but it seems to be working. And so this went on for 8-10 years. Anand Mahindra famously tweeted, who are these people? Because we were anonymous. Anonymity was all about it. He said, these people need the Bharat Ratna. Amitabh Bachchan said, you want to do an interview, we declined. So it became a very cool thing to solve problems and not reveal who we are. Now we have started revealing it, and I'll tell you why. And so the Bangalore government said, we like what you're doing, can we use what you do in our systems? We said, fine. We will not rebuild a company, we will train all the government workers to do what we think is right. I'm not telling you what the model is, that's a long story, but the point being that we were encouraged to take risks, solve a problem, own it ourselves, and create a new model for dealing with how to solve social problems. 2 years back, we said, okay, enough of staying underground, let's stick our neck out. So I stuck my neck out and said, let me universalize what I do. Let me not talk just about garbage problems. I walk a lot. I walk all over the city. I conduct tours when prime ministers and heads of state and all the executive education programs, so IIM come, I take them for walks. And when you go for a walk on a footpath, the footpath is broken. It's very bad for the brand of the country. I represented India for G20 as well. So we said, you have to do something audacious. Now, all of you know about Swiggy and Ola. At the end of your ride or ordering meal, you give a rating of 1 to 5, right? We don't do that for civic services. So that why not I just rate all the footpaths of Bangalore? And since me and Rashmi here are both runners, I called the running community and I said, I will run 100 kilometers on footpaths of Bangalore. It's audacious. And people said, are you going to run on footpaths? Are you crazy? Can we even walk there? I said, yes. We analyzed all the footpaths, we ran, we took videos, we put it on YouTube, we created some cool social media. And I was called to present at a gathering of all the industry bigwigs. And I said, I am the footpath mayor of Bangalore, very arrogantly, self-appointed, until someone else takes the job from me. Nobody has taken it yet. And because I did that and I gave a rating of 100 kilometers, the commissioner of Bangalore said, give me a report, we'll fix all the problems that you identified. Because he liked the approach. It was very much data-based. It was not based on a grievance. So we said, this is very cool. Why don't we organize footpath runs? So we organized the world's first footpath run here in Bangalore in MG Road, 10 kilometers on a footpath. The sports media called me and said, what is this thing called footpath runs? I said, next week we're doing 11 kilometers. And we created a new brand. It's called Walkaluru. You have to make it cool, right? So let's make Bengaluru a Walkaluru. It's a cool thing. We set up a new domain name, we set up a social media page, and now it's all very well to have ideas, you got to do. So we said we'll conduct events. I called people and said, if you come with me, I'll give you 100 kilometers of footpaths to walk on. And last December, 1,500 people came and walked with me. This January 1st, I don't know how many of you were awake at 7 a.m. on January 1st. Were any of you awake? So we said, if you're awake, come at 7 a.m. and we will walk 26 kilometers on footpaths to open in 2026. You know how many people came? 350 people came and walked 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on footpaths, including senior citizens. The government came, ministers came. So the moment you offered something that anyone could do, decision makers, ministers, bureaucrats, they all came. And when they walk, they see the problems. It's easy to solve. And so the trick that we have learned is how to engage with government, how to take a societal problem that you care about and bring it down to the point where someone who can solve it comes with you. And that's really what I was here to talk about. Because when I was in IIM, I never heard anyone saying anything like this, that it's possible to make change without being trained in it. So what I'm hoping that you all will carry away from this is that all of you want something to change on your street, don't you? So I have a simple mantra in your life. If you want to change the world, start with your own street. Your own street is the most difficult problem to solve when we turn a blind eye to it. And the next question I want you to think about every day is, what impact have I made on my street? You will go to corporates, you will earn money, you will pay taxes, you will vote, you will do all your civic duties. But have you made a difference on your street is the question. If every one of us asks, we will have a better society. Thank you very much.